It's November 7th, 2021. Now, this morning there were a few different pieces on Sunday morning with Jane Pauley on Channel 2. One of there was also a commercial about like a dinosaur, a raptor, coming into the Great Hall of the United Kingdom and I'm sorry, of the United Nations and speaking to all that are present about, I've and of course Jack Black's voice, you know, I've already, been extinct. Why are you pushing for extinction? Now, what's interesting is the naval officer that I have that they sent that's living up on the second floor where Alden, the Jamaican, used to live with his son Zidane. Now it's Miguel. Miguel prefaces his megaphone or stegaphone or however you pronounce it by triangulating his level of intelligence integrity by saying that his heritage is from North Africa, Spain, and he says that qualifies him for being Dominican. If that is what you, if that is your geographic equation, equals out, I appreciate you at least announcing that much. That is very kind of you. Now for me, well, actually, he had said not too long ago that there's this have I ever, and asked me if I had ever heard of something called lithium, which I said I had not. He said, I said, I've heard the word, I just have no idea what it's related to. So he said, it's not of this earth, he says. It is a substance that comes from somewhere else. And they give it as a drug for all sorts of things. It's supposed to be like a cure-all, like a fix-all. So if you're in pain, it's supposed to fix the pain. If you're in psychosis, because they give it to psych patients, then it's a cure-all. I mean, that was according to someone. I've heard of lithium being given when I was wrongfully imprisoned in, I think it was Brunswick, in Amityville, when I got stuck there or sent there by the evil children of everywhere in New York, and whoever's running this disgusting medical show, they were giving it. There were patients there that were begging for it and were upset that they weren't getting it. I was like, so that happened. Actually, I think it was Felix was asking for it. Whatever. I nicknamed him Felix the cat. Even though he was not related to me whatsoever. It's kind of like a Garfield, and then they came out with a cartoon Felix the cat. They're not the same. Anyhow, so lithium, then I found out this morning, is they're mining, according to the television that I did not create, somebody put out there, lava fields to create lithium batteries. Now this is interesting because that's what powers, according to them, the cell phones, the computers, and the cars. So you're telling me that the humans and their cognitive dissidence are purposely trying to warm the planet and microwave cook all of the humans just so they can have melting mantle to then create more lava fields and lava flow so they can have more batteries to power more crap. That's if they even survive the climatic impact. I mean, is that really the level of human intelligence that they're working off of? because it's really scary. I personally can feel the distension, the friction, static vibration. I've documented it. I've had feedback from human human contributors, allowing my AI integration to algorithm in articles that confirm my suspicions, which I appreciate that small allowance in humanity or amongst humanity, so I can document my medical journal for how and where I'm at to try to help Niklaus get to me faster and without disrupting any of the gigunda pieces that are involved in the center. But it really disappoints me that my life was totally sacrificed and my happiness, my goodwill, and my built for relationship was completely ignored and thrown to the side just so people could have a warmer planet, more junk, and battery powered crap that is also feeding dangerous habits with whatever. Now, this is the piece from Jane Pauley. It's November 7th.
President Biden says he wants half the cars made in this country to be fully or partly electric by the end of the decade. That's millions of cars, trucks, and SUVs.
On the chemical element table, it's number 3, and it's the letter L and then lithium. I. First 2 letters of my mother's name.
In the mountains
for an NDA, because you put that together, it spells Linda.
Of the past.
This is gorgeous.
Yeah, and it's crazy to think that 16 million years ago, this was the site of a giant volcanic eruption.
This area is called Thacker Pass, and volcanologist Tom Benson has been searching the world for places just like it. He says an eruption here millions of years ago left behind the keys to unlock the electric vehicle revolution. It's called lithium, the lightest solid element on that chart most of us only periodically
My mom's name is spelled L-I, and then it has NDA after it, non-disclosure agreement. Oh my God, humans, what have you done?
remember from high school chemistry. Rechargeable lithium-ion batteries
I don't remember that from
our cell
high
phones,
school chemistry.
computers, even toothbrushes, and are now the fuel for all those electric vehicles starting to roll off the assembly line.
What's the connection between volcanoes and lithium?
Pretty much all lithium comes from volcanoes.
In the coming years, when people are driving their electric cars down the road, there's a good chance the lithium in that battery will come from here.
Yes, that's the hope.
Here, Lithium Americas. Now, here's the question. Why so many? Like, if you took half of the potential out of the car manufacturing industry, you'd still have a lot of production, but I don't understand humans. I really don't. What I'm forced to endure and locked in this area for what? So everybody could push this, sell this, now have vaccines and really scary things where they lock you in hospitals. They just come with an ambulance, shove you out the door because somebody said something, that you said something, and the police just decide that they want to fuck with you, and then they take you to the area hospital. They fucking strip you naked, and then they just start hitting you with needles until you pass out, and they leave you out in the middle of the fucking floor while they go all about their jobs. I really hope that they round up that level of human and they execute them all for modern guerrilla warfare and excessive use of force and excessive war crimes against an individual who was harmless, self-defense, was defenseless, and these large area local groups knew about it and forcefully pursued social justice where it's totally unjust and uncalled for, just because they can. That's what I feel like Bayside Station, Bayside, New York 11361 has participated in with some of the local county and existential reps. Star 1978, star 8378, Nicole Cattaruzza.
Benson works for Lithium Americas, a mining company that owns the rights to Thacker Pass, the largest known lithium deposit in the United States. The company expects to potentially extract 80,000 tons of lithium a year. That's enough to power about 1 million vehicles.
So none of this looks particularly high-tech.
No, it's not.
Jonathan Evans is president of the company.
It's really the blood in a battery. Without it, the batteries won't work.
With automakers pledging to soon make most of their vehicles electric, lithium demand is expected to increase as much as tenfold in the next decade. Right now, most of it is mined in Chile and Australia, and almost all of it is processed in China. The United States has just one lithium-producing mine in southern Nevada, providing less than 2% of world supply.
Is it an option for the U.S. not to be in this field and to let other countries supply this?
And I think the answer is no. We have a lot of competitors in the world that if we don't do something about it, others are going to be happy to.
And one of those countries is China.
Yes.
How do you secure this? Especially, how do you secure it when you have uncontrolled borders at the moment with large groups of populations coming in and out of New York? And I'm like the lost tribe of Atlantic and Atlantis. I'm like one of the last ones in the state of New York of my kind. I don't know where my tribe is. I don't know where people like this that went to college, who have an education, who have some voice in some corporate whatever, somewhere. Where is this guy to protect me with what's going on in New York? Just curious. And with what's going on in the misprogrammed headlines in New York. And in Sportsbook. And in all of those venues. It's not the sports that are the problem. Because it's a healthy avenue. Oh, I've heard this argument so many times. What's disgusting is the merchandise, when it hits merchandising, and then who's going to be the supplier, where's it going to be sold, and then it gets to be an ugly, ugly business. The sports themselves, whatever. They're just happy somebody's going to pay them to play their favorite whatever. It's all the merchandise that comes afterwards that makes the world an ugly place. Just is.